Welcome to this demonstration of Studiocode, the latest video analysis software. This demonstration should take no longer than 9 minutes. So what is Studiocode? It's a much improved way of actually seeing and analysing a role play, a simulation, an interview, an assessment centre, anything that needs to be recorded on video. It provides the consultant or the trainer with a much more accurate way of analysing the skills and behaviours that are being observed. And it provides a much improved methodology for giving feedback to the participants on a training course or a coaching session. It's represented here by two components: the small video that we can see in the top left-hand corner, and then the very colourful timeline that represents all the instances that we've recorded. Let's have a look at Studiocode in action. Let's have a look at a completed Studiocode video. What you see here on the screen is what we end up with after we filmed a particular event. In this instance, we have Dan, who has completed a presentation which we've recorded. So here you can see the video of Dan, and I can, if I want to, put this up into a full screen mode and you'll hear Dan talking.
In your region, and wanted to basically go over today an indicative snapshot of our share of voice.
Down here is what we call the timeline, and this is a record of all of the instances that I've actually recorded, right, using the coded template that we'll be having a look at in a moment. Down here are all the skill sets, right? We have 7 of them, and each of them is represented by a different color. So we have body language, which is the purple, and we have emphasizing, which is the green, along with all the others. Now I can play this just as a normal movie.
In the EMEA region, the presentation is divided into 3 basic categories. First of all, an overview, just in terms of broad.
Now we don't really want to do that because there's significant parts of this video that we don't want to see. We just want to see the things that we want to make observations on, to give feedback to Dan in terms of him having done well or areas for improvement. So I can select one of these instances.
Last year, but the key takeaway here is that we should keep publishing thought leadership research because the markets do want it. Reporters respond.
I can actually make a movie of all of the instances in a particular line. This one we're looking at is emphasis.
We get in Germany versus France.
And as you can see here, we have 5 instances that have been put together to make a movie, representing the 5 instances in this green line. So what we're able to do is to pick out those parts of the film, the movie, that we want to make observations on. We can move this cursor to any part of the film. So this makes it extremely easy to identify a particular instance in the movie that we want to show to Dan and his colleagues, who can make comments and give feedback on. Let's now have a look at the coding input window. This is the cornerstone of Studiocode. The coding input window represents all the skills and behaviours that we are looking to observe when a particular event is being video recorded. We'll press the button in the top left-hand corner called Capture. Up comes the picture on our laptop, and when we observe or hear a particular skill and behaviour being used, then we press the corresponding button. That button then records an instance which is represented in the timeline that we looked at previously. The buttons with the green marker represent the different coloured lines that we saw on the timeline in the previous session. We can decide how long these instances actually last for when we actually set up the coding input window. What's important about this window is that for each and every client, you can decide on those behaviours and those skills that you want recorded. So the client actually has significant input in deciding on the training course's content. Each of the buttons that has a blue circle on the right hand side is actually a subset of the skill that we're looking to observe. So if you take a look at questioning, we have open and closed questions. We also have 5 different varieties of question there that we're looking to identify. And with the high gain question, which actually has the red triangle in the box, this is a particularly important question and it gets its own separate line on the timeline. We'll now have a look at what else we can do with Studiocode. This is another example. This is David, who is making a presentation, and we have again all the different coloured lines representing the skill sets that we've actually built up in the coding template. And what we can actually do here is that we can identify via a numerical analysis in the matrix exactly what skills, what behaviours David actually used in his presentation. So let's have a look at the skills matrix. The matrix is a particularly useful little tool in that it analyses numerically all of the skills and behaviours that have been observed whilst David has been making his presentation. On the left hand side we have all of the skills that correspond to the different colours on each line that we saw in the timeline. Along the top we have the subset of skills, again all broken down, so we can identify exactly what David is doing in the presentation, and if we have an ideal model then we can make a comparison and identify where David needs to improve. So this then is Studiocode, the latest video analysis software. Let's just review the key benefits. The first 2 are probably the most important. It actually helps the consultant or the trainer increase their accuracy of the observations of the role plays or the business simulations. And as a consequence of that, it improves the quality of the feedback provided for the participants. It reinforces the training in that participants are able to take away a copy of their performance on a USB stick or even their iPods. It can, if required, provide a permanent record. For certain health and safety records, that is quite important. It also demonstrates the improvements. We can use a before and after film. And finally, it improves the overall quality of the training. Thank you very much for watching this demonstration of Studiocode, the latest video analysis software. I hope you found the video useful. Bye.